YouTube, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host CKK and we are back with another video. Guys, today's video is going to be an interesting one and I feel like I have a responsibility to make this video. This is going to be in regards to the 2022 Apple TV 4K. Now, I purchased this product and was very excited about this product because this is the very first time that I bought myself an Apple TV. Never beforehand did I do so. I've currently used the Apple TV on what I've coined as the king of 2022 for TVs. That is the Sony Alpha 95K or A95 King. If you guys know, you've been hanging around the channel, it's what I call the TV. Amazing TV. The TV does feature a very nice and snappy operating system that is called Google TV. And it's great. It's an OS that you can actually buy a device as a standalone. That will give you that functionality, and it's featured on a lot of other models. TCL's had some, Hisense has some Google TV operating systems, and it's one that, you know, Sony only uses. And so it's a great OS. And likewise, for all of the other TVs that I've purchased, which have been from Samsung and LG, they both have their proprietary OS. So for me, in my personal lifestyle, because I buy so many TVs and because you never can really trust the operating system on a TV, and I'm not just talking about with updates, but just controlling the TV once you get the picture quality settings that you want, I think it's best to just kind of let the TV be, right? And so because I use Sony, I use LG, I use Samsung in my personal household, I'd rather not have to deal with delegating functionality with 3 different operating systems. I do have small children and some adult kids in the house too that like to use these TVs. And so it's like, you know, you can go to Netflix, you can go to Hulu, but to get to those features are all going to be a little bit different with all 3 of the brands that I use having different operating systems. So personally, I adopted to use Amazon Firesticks, the 4K models to be specific, non-Max. I do have one Max in the house, but literally every other TV has a 4K Fire Stick, and those devices have been really well. And historically, during the holiday time frame, they always discount down. The 4K stick is normally a $50 product, but it always goes on sale for about $24.99. That's US before tax. And it's just really affordable. The OS is snappy. You're able to even, you know, go in and do some soft modifications to it to kind of fine tune it, to open it up, to do a lot more things than what it's designed to do out the box. I've been loving them. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I primarily use my Fire Sticks for one application. That application is called Plex. What Plex does for me is it allows me to have a dedicated PC because I am a PC enthusiast. I love to build. I love to game on PCs. You can check some of the content if you'd like to, but it's not the point of this. I use one PC that I put together, and essentially all of my media content is on this PC. It runs 24/7. Think of it like a Netflix, a Hulu, right? It's a server literally that runs all the time. And so it doesn't matter if I'm streaming on a tablet or if I'm streaming on my phone or if I'm in one in the house. If I'm in the house with one of the mini TVs that I have, it doesn't matter where I'm at, I'm going to be streaming from that PC, 4K or 1080p or 720p or 480p, whatever the content resolution. Doesn't matter if it's Dolby Vision, you know, whatever I have my content staged as. If the display is able to play it, I'm able to stream the content. So Plex works wonderful. Essentially, what I'm just trying to tell you is that I'm a pretty simple guy when it comes down to what I use to watch and to entertain myself. So jumping from the 4K Fire Stick wasn't really something I had to do. However, I was excited for this guy, and it's been a great device. So I picked up the Apple TV. I actually did the review, and if you haven't seen it, it was an initial impressions. You can check it out right there. Please take a look into it. I appreciate any of you guys that may be new to the channel from there, but it's a great device. The OS is really snappy. The fact that, you know, it integrates well with my Apple ecosystem, which, by the way, only extends to me having an Apple Watch Ultra and 2 business phones that are Apple. Actually, I have one personal and one business, but I really don't have much more of that that's Apple. However, I do use Apple Music as like my own means to get myself entertained when I'm driving in one of my cars. You know, that's what I like to use, right? And so that piece of the Apple TV has been just absolutely phenomenal to me. Also, doing the initial setups in my initial impression video, I spoke a little bit about my experience with Plex being totally different on Apple TV. So there was just like small features in just the way that things are put together that just made it seem like I was missing something from the Fire Stick 4K. And it was really an enjoyable experience. I have to say that. There was certain things that were different. So for example, if I'm watching The Wire, because that's something that I'm binge watching again, if I were to rewind or fast forward past like the intro sequence when they're doing the song in the beginning of the show, the Apple TV skips 10 seconds, whereas to the Fire Stick skips 30 seconds. So just little yin and yang, apples to oranges, you know, differences like that I had to adjust to. But ultimately, the Apple TV just gave me such uniformity where changing resolution, changing bit rate, things like that were really simplistic. And I feel like the Fire Stick 4K was really missing that. Again, it was just one of those things where when you're new to adopt something or late to adopt something that people have been telling you is great, I was just like, hey, you know, once I finally got one, I've enjoyed it. But the point of this video is for me to really give you some talking points about if I really feel like, you know, it's that much worth of an upgrade, because the device is plus $100, whereas to all my Fire Stick 4Ks were, you know, $25. And even if they weren't on sale, they're still more than half the cost of what, you know, the Apple TV cost me, right? And so I have to tell you that I really don't feel like at this point, you know, it's a device. When I say it, meaning the Apple TV is a device that I would streamline through my entire property. It's great. And I will be the first to admit, if I already haven't done that and made that clear for you, that I'm probably not going to be the best guy that's going to be representing what you can do with it. Because although it's a really cool set-top box, I'm not playing games, guys. I have a gaming PC on pretty much all of my TVs or that I use primarily. And so especially in like the living space that I'm in right now, I've got an RTX 4090 gaming PC. So there's absolutely no reason for me to want to play, you know, games on the Apple TV, though it is a cool device. If, you know, you didn't have that kind of setup, still, I would love to rely more so on the console experience. You know, I'm more of a hardcore gamer than what the Apple TV games would allow me to have. Now, things like Apple Music have been really nice. It's pretty cool to have that. And it's this cool thing that my receiver, maybe it's because of the eARC, when I play music, the receiver immediately changes itself from like, you know, the surround sound to just being like stereo, which I absolutely love because it seems like I'm getting the best representation of things like music. So I am enjoying having the ability to have like, you know, my Apple Music there, and I don't have to like Bluetooth tie up my phone to have my phone playing from my stereo receiver or anything like that. It's just like, it's seamless. It's right there. So while I do love having it in the living space, it's not something that I would definitely put around the house. Now, I came to this conclusion because when I go to bed, I'm watching a 77-inch C1 in my bedroom, and I have a 4K stick, you know, a Fire Stick 4K inside of there. And so it's like, yo, I'm not missing anything from the Apple device when I go to my bedroom. I actually love the fact that, and I probably can change the setting on the Apple, but I love the fact that when I need to reset or rewind or fast forward something, it's skipping in 30 seconds instead of the 10 seconds. That might be a little thing, but again, when you get accustomed to little small features or presets that one device has, it's something you have to get familiar with the other device. The point I'm making is this, guys. I wanted to be responsible in making a follow-up video on my channel about my experience with the Apple TV 4K. It's an amazing device. I absolutely love it. And the fact that now you get more storage and the cost is lower on it is great. The fact that it has the HDR10 Plus for like a Samsung TV. I do have an S95B. I do plan on getting in this year, 2023, an S95C, if not an S90C. So very nice that they have that. They thought enough to not just have Dolby Vision, but to have the HDR10 Plus. Beyond that, though, guys, I would really plan out strategically like what you would expect to get out of the device, because there are other devices that I feel like would do you a better job and actually save you some money, get some money back into your budget so that you can, you know, deck out your living room or your theater room or your man cave with some other trinkets. So I just wanted to be responsible in making this content. Let me know what you guys think. I know a lot of you guys were regular Apple TV consumers and were telling me, welcome to the club, this, that, and the third. But if you have some opinions, I'd love to read them in the comment section so we can have some more engagement. Outside of that, I'm gonna catch you guys on the next video. Peace, God bless. And as I always say, max love.